Johan Liebert. Just the name sends chills down your spine, doesn't it? A character who's the embodiment of pure intellect, cold calculation, and unnerving charm. You see, becoming like Johan Liebert is not about brute strength or flashy moves. No, it's about mastering the mind, understanding people, manipulating situations, and always staying 10 steps ahead. But can you really become like him? Let's break down what it takes. First, emotional detachment. John doesn't get swayed by emotions, fear, empathy, even excitement. They're weaknesses to him. To adopt this mindset, you need to start seeing emotions as variables that can be controlled, not obstacles. People often let their feelings dictate their actions, but John uses emotions to manipulate others. If you want to operate on his level, begin by recognizing when you're being emotionally driven and detach. Start small. Avoid reacting impulsively. Train yourself to observe situations with a cool, calculated lens. Next up, observe and analyze. Liebert isn't just smart, he's always watching. He understands the intricacies of human behavior and uses it to his advantage. If you want to emulate him, you need to sharpen your observational skills. Pay attention to body language, vocal tones, subtle cues that reveal what people aren't saying. The world is filled with signs, and John reads them like a book. Practice this by studying people in everyday life. In conversations, focus less on what's being said and more on how it's being said. But observation isn't enough. You need to develop the ability to manipulate situations. John knows how to pull strings behind the scenes, playing people like pawns in his game. To do this, you need to understand motivation. What do people want? What do they fear? Once you figure that out, you can guide them in any direction you want without them even realizing it. It's not about lying or being deceitful. It's about nudging things in your favor subtly, almost invisibly. Then there's Johan's planning. Johan Liebert is a master planner, always thinking several moves ahead. His plans are precise yet adaptable. To operate like him, start by mapping out your actions carefully. Think about the outcomes, the contingencies, the risks. But here's the twist. Don't just plan for the immediate. Plan for the aftermath, the long-term consequences. Create scenarios in your head where you've already won, and then trace back your steps to where you are now. Of course, all of this means you need to sharpen your intellect. John is incredibly intelligent, well-read, and informed about many topics. This doesn't happen overnight. You need to cultivate a hunger for knowledge. Read widely, not just books, but also people, situations, and environments. Engage in mental exercises, puzzles, anything that sharpens your strategic thinking. The more you expand your mind, the more options you'll see in any given situation. Charisma. John isn't just cold and calculated, he's also magnetic. People are drawn to him, even when they shouldn't be. This comes from mastering the art of persuasion. You have to learn how to speak in a way that makes people want to follow you. It's not about being loud or assertive, but about creating an aura of confidence, mystery, and subtle authority. When you speak, people should feel like there's something deeper behind your words, something they can't quite grasp, but are desperate to understand. Now the price, let's talk about that. Because becoming like Johan Liebert isn't just about gaining control, it's about losing something too. The more you detach, the more you manipulate, the less you connect with the world around you. John doesn't care about anyone, not really. And that's what makes him so dangerous, but also so alone. To truly become like him, you have to ask yourself, are you ready to sacrifice genuine relationships, authentic emotions? See, there's a cost to being the puppet master. You might be able to pull the strings, but eventually you'll start feeling disconnected, detached from everything that makes you human. For John, it's clear, he doesn't mind, he's beyond it. But for you, that's the real challenge. Are you prepared to abandon empathy, to see people as mere pieces on a chessboard? Once you've embraced that darkness, there's no turning back. You'll find that every interaction, every relationship becomes a calculated move. Trust will be rare, if it exists at all, because when you start seeing everyone as a potential pawn, It's hard to let anyone close. Even those who seem to care for you will just become another piece in the larger game you're playing. But here's the thing. If you truly become like Johan Liebert, you won't feel the loss of trust or the emptiness of shallow connections, because by that point, you've already transcended it. You'll be too focused on control, on winning, to care about anything else. And that's the essence of John's character. His single-minded pursuit of control over everything around him. People aren't people to him. They're opportunities, challenges, obstacles. To live like that requires an almost inhuman level of self-discipline. You can't afford to let your guard down, not even for a second. One emotional slip, one moment of vulnerability, and everything you've built, everything you've manipulated, could come crashing down. John never slips. He's always in control, always calculating, always thinking ahead. That's the level you need to reach if you want to be like him. But here's a question for you. Can you handle that level of isolation? Because at the core of Johan Liebert's existence is a profound loneliness. When you see the world like he does, when you manipulate and control at that level, you isolate yourself from everything real, from any form of true connection. You become the master of the game, but the game becomes your life. So before you decide to follow in his footsteps, ask yourself, do you want power or do you want connection? Because in Johan Liebert's world, you can't have both. Power means isolation. Mastery means detachment. And once you start down this path, once you let go of your humanity to gain control, there's no going back. The world will be yours to shape. But the question is, will it be worth it?